actually have quite an important interview because we've been asking questions about it the entire morning. As you know, yesterday SABC reported that Kaizer Chiefs have terminated the contract of their head coach, Nasreddine Nabi. And it's believed that his immediate departure relates to his coaching license, which has expired. The Tunisian has left the club and he will therefore not be in charge of the team for Saturday's CAF Confederations Cup match against Kabuscorp in Luanda, Angola. His departure is not linked, however, to Tuesday's loss to Sekhukhune United at the FNB Stadium, nor his wife's condition following her recent car crash, although that's been some of the reports that we've seen. So to explore the story further and to get some insight, Velile Mnyandu is joining us. He's our senior SABC Sports reporter. Velile, I understand that you were at Nasreddine yesterday, and the team is yet to say anything official on the matter. Can you give us any details about what's happening? Because, you know, we're reporting that it has nothing to do with the compassionate leave that he had to take or any other factors. But those are still the rumors that are circulating, that it's a number of things and perhaps Chiefs was just capitalizing on this moment.
Morning, Stace, and also to the viewers. I can tell you that this story keeps on changing and changing, and yes, there's been a lot of reports over the past 24 hours. It also it's also one of the things we got to learn even immediately after the game against Sekhukhune as well, that there were possibly issues around the coach's coaching license. And also yesterday, that's also the stories that was dominating the headlines again. But I can also confirm that I also got to learn later yesterday that the coaches' coaching qualifications are intact. There's absolutely nothing wrong with the UEFA Pro license that he's got. He got it from Belgium. That license is only expiring on the 31st of December later this year. So meaning that it is not really an issue of the contract. So, and I also understand that the coach had been called to a meeting yesterday, and I think this is probably where he would have also finished them with his contract. And so if there were questions around the contract and maybe even the suspension that it was around the issue of this contract. So that is not the case. So the imminent mutual termination of the contract will have to be around the breakdown of the relationship between the two parties. And as you know, that at CAF, because of the CAF club licensing regulations, the club would have been expected to submit the coaching qualifications of all the coaches that they have. I think that's something before the mid of July, and now that is no longer the case, and so meaning that the coach would not have been eligible in any case to sit at the bench, unless maybe it would have been a last minute thing for the club to do that. So that is what I can confirm to you.
Yeah, sorry to interrupt you there. You know, it's SK's club, and this morning, Sekhukhune and I were chatting about it and wondering, is it perhaps a clash of culture? I've read online, you know, a number of times throughout last season that he just struggled to communicate with his team, with the players. There was perhaps, you know, an obstacle of communication that was there. He was obviously communicating quite a bit through Cedric and Khalil Ben Youssef. You know, what do you make of it? What is your insight into the matter? Was it just, I mean, we know that on paper he's a good coach. Was it just all of these finer details that didn't allow for him to come in and do what he wanted to do at Chiefs?
Well, Stace, I'm not sure. I'm not really sure what would have been led to this. But I think what is clear around it is that there's a relationship between Coach Nabi and Chiefs coming to what is happening now. It didn't start yesterday. It's something that has been there. I mean, even before and after he won the Nedbank Cup. Let me just give you the record of Coach Nabi at Kaizer Chiefs. 35 matches played, won 12, drawn 9, lost 14. considered 39, in fact, scored 39 goals under him, considered 42 goals. Now, if you're a footballing person, you must analyze that record. And also, this is also besides the fact that he ended a 10-year drought of not having won a trophy at Kaizer Chiefs. As I get to understand, there's been concerns, or maybe in terms of is he a perfect fit for the club from around March this year? That is from last season.
Yeah.
And you will recall, because also a Sunday Times article or a weekend newspaper article is not written on a Sunday, but it appears on a Sunday. So meaning that by the time Kaizer Chiefs were playing or were about to even play against Orlando Pirates in that Nedbank Cup final, BBK would have already written this story. So BBK had written a story that Nabi will part ways with Chiefs, and a lot was said about him, people berating him for that article, and he listed some of the issues which will lead to possible parting of ways between the two parties. And I think now we're at a stage where he's vindicated by the events that are unfolding around this. So then I think the club will come out with a statement on their side. We are all speculating right now on some of these things, but when they come out with a statement, obviously it's a PR way also of handling the situation.
Yes.
But I think if you look at the results and if you look at how the team is playing, and the other thing is, if you look at the team also when they are with the assistants. And then I know that people will say, but you cannot separate Coach Nabi from the assistants because the assistants have been saying this. But obviously, the assistants on a public platform, they are going to maintain a certain posture in terms of how do they handle these things. So all I'm saying is this: me and you are on the journalistic side of things. Just
we'll wait and see. Yeah, perfect.
Yeah, but the most important thing is that the team is leaving this afternoon. They are going to Angola. They are playing a Girabola side named Kabuscorp in the CAF Confederation Cup.
Velile, unfortunately, I have run out of time. I know you've got to run to a press conference as well, and I love how professional you are. You always give us more than we ask you for. But yes, you're correct. They will be taking on Kabuscorp this weekend. But thank you so much for shedding some light on the story. And as you say, it's still very much speculative. We're not too sure. We haven't seen anything official come out of Nasreddine. It obviously is interesting time for the Amakosi. Nabi did end that trophy drought. It has nothing to do, as Velile said, with his qualification. So we're going to have to just wait and see. But that's it. That's all we have time for in your sports bulletin for this hour. Do stay tuned to the show. We've got so much coming up. There's still weather with Letlo Nolo as well.